Hey everybody, welcome back to the Quantum Guide Show, episode 218, Your Astrological Energy. We are starting just 5 minutes late today because Carmen's been held up at an appointment, but she will be joining us as soon as she arrives. And in the meantime, I'll just tell you that I'm very happy to bring back my returning guest and well-known author, Carmen Turner-Schott. Before we start, let me tell you a little bit about her. Carmen Turner-Schott is an MSW and an LISW, and is a practicing clinical social worker, psychotherapist, and astrologer with national and international clientele. She has worked as an astrologer and with survivors of trauma for over 25 years. The author of Sun Signs, Houses, and Healing and Moon Signs, Houses, and Healing, Turner-Schott has presented astrology workshops and e-groups for the Association of Research and Enlightenment. She's also the founder of Deep Soul Divers Astrology, and you can visit her at www.carmenturnerschott.com. Today, we will talk about her upcoming book called Your Astrological Energy. Feel your unique astrological energies and use your birth chart to find new ways of handling relationships, career, health, and more. Take advantage of all the fabulous things that your specific astrological placements offer, including influences on your emotions, thoughts, and decisions. Carmen Turner-Schott covers all 12 sun signs, as well as the planets, houses, and planetary transits, with tips for embodying each energy. With her guidance, you will discover your personal strengths and challenges based on the energies in your birth chart. Maximize your Aries energy with self-reliance. Lean into your Libra side through travel. Embrace your inner Virgo with routine. Whatever your placements, this practical book offers hands-on methods for understanding yourself on a deeper level, leading to a more successful, fulfilling life. All of the links are featured below in the description, and I would ask you to very kindly check me out, subscribe to my channels, leave me a comment, like my videos, and share my content with your friends. And I'm happy to announce that you can now join my YouTube channel and take advantage of the perks and also help to support my channel. So just again, a reminder, if you haven't done so already, please like this video and also share it out. I would really, really appreciate it. It would really help my channel to grow, which I would love to have happen. So as I mentioned, I'm just going to say hi to a couple people in the chat. I want to say hi to Denise. Nice to see you. And Thirsty is also here. Nice to see you too. And thank you so much for joining us today. So as I mentioned, Carmen's on her way. She'll be a few minutes late. So I thought what I would do is take this opportunity to introduce you to two of her books that I have personally bought. And the first one is called Sun Signs, Houses, and Healing. And I'll just read to you a bit from the back cover so you can get an idea of what this book is all about. It says, use sun signs and houses to heal, transform, and strengthen yourself. Sorry, I'm having trouble reading it, seeing it on the back cover here. Let's see. Uniting sun sign personality traits with that astrological power of the sorry, trouble reading it. I'm having trouble seeing it. Actually, as I get older, because of my lifestyle, I guess, and change in diet, etc., I actually don't need readers, so I'm actually going to take my glasses off and read without them. Now I can see it. Okay, it says uniting sun sign personality traits with the astrological power of the 12 houses. This book teaches you how to accomplish three important things: transformation, healing, and resiliency. Each chapter focuses on a sun sign and a house, exploring them separately and in connection to the planets. This beginner-friendly book provides crucial insights on all 12 signs and reveals how your personality traits help you overcome challenges and improve well-being. Once you have your birth chart, which you can easily acquire online using your time and place of birth, Carmen Turner Schott helps you fully understand your sun sign, providing everything from self-care affirmations to optimal strategies for healing and transformation. This well-organized book lets you quickly jump between specific signs and houses, making it easy to look up information for yourself and your loved ones. So that's sun signs, houses, and healing, build resilience, transform your life through astrology. So that's this book here. And I know it's available on Amazon. And so I bought this one because I told Carmen, I said, Carmen, I don't understand astrology. I don't know why, but I don't really understand it. I've had people do my birth charts before. I've had people, you know, give me the charts, but I don't really understand how they work. So she recommended the Sun Signs book as a beginner book. Um, but it's really, I think, beneficial for everybody. So it just tells you, depending on what your sun sign is, which is kind of the sign that we generally go by. Like for me, I say I'm an Aquarian or Aquarius. And it gives you a really good jumping off point to understanding your traits, your abilities, your strengths, your weaknesses, things like that. And then the second book I bought from her is an accompaniment called Moon Signs, Houses, and Healing. Gain emotional strength and resilience through astrology. And what I really liked about this is it teaches you basically the techniques that are unique to you depending on your moon sign. So, this helps you to know what kind of self-care program might be best for you. And it's also very easy to understand. And since she's not here yet, I'll just read a bit off the back cover. It says, use moon signs and houses to heal and find emotional fulfillment. Your moon sign has a powerful influence on your life, especially on what makes you feel happy, passionate, and satisfied. In this companion book to the sun signs, houses, and healing, Carmen Turner Schott helps you understand your true personality and emotions. By connecting with your moon sign, and the house it occupies, you can heal your greatest emotional wounds and gain more confidence in everything that you do. Each chapter provides a thorough breakdown of a particular moon sign from Aries to Pisces, making it simple to learn more about yourself or a loved one. In addition to characteristics, values, affirmations, and self-care guidelines for every sign, you'll discover how they approach relationships, find comfort, and face challenges. This book is the key to unlocking your moon signs gifts. So those are the two books of Carmen's that I have actually purchased and used myself. She's written a number of books. I'll just quickly tell you the titles. She's written A Deeper Look at the Sun Signs. Then she also wrote A Practical Look at the Planets and Their Houses. She wrote Astrology Awareness and Astrology from a Christian Perspective. She also wrote The Mysteries of the Eighth Astrological House. and The Mysteries of the 12th Astrological House, and of course, sun signs. She also wrote Astrology's Magical Nodes of the Moons and another book called Phoenixes and Angels. So she's a very prolific author. She's written many, many books. She's helped so many people. And I'm really thrilled that she's going to join us as soon as she gets cleared from her appointment. I'm wondering if anyone from the audience has any comments or questions or anything they would like to add to the discussion as we wait for Carmen to get here. And while I'm just waiting, sorry, I don't mean to sound like I'm being pushy. I just never know what to do when my guests can't arrive on time. And so I'm just sort of trying to make the show interesting for those of you who are here and patiently waiting along with me. Yeah. So astrology, I have found, like I said, it's not like I do believe in astrology. It's been relied on for thousands of years to find out what's going on or to help people. Um, I'm wondering if any of you out there have used astrology or use astrology, and if you found it helpful in any way in your everyday life. Denise says, I'm confused about astrology too. Yeah, seems to me very complicated. And I think the issue I have with it is it's too much information. I need things to be in small, digestible kind of chunks for me to get it. And then after I close the book, I seem to forget what I read. And it doesn't mean that it's not a powerful tool. I believe it is a powerful tool. It's just that different things we resonate in different ways. So those of you who are familiar with my show and my work, you know that I have these transdimensional experiences, and I find that sort of dominates my life. And so when I have a transdimensional experience, it always leaves me with so much to think about. I don't really have room for anything else. And as far as my life goes, I tend to just try to be the mistress of my own domain, in charge of my own life, which means I take responsibility for my successes and my failures, learn all I can from it. And that's about the best that I can do. Denise also says, I know my moon and my sun is in Libra. Yeah. Now, someone like Carmen, they know exactly what you're talking about when you say that. They know what your strengths, weaknesses are. Like she's very, I think, gifted. And she's also told me that she uses astrology when she's doing her job as a social worker, and she's helped thousands of people who are survivors of abuse and trauma to understand themselves better and to get regrounded back to back to a healthy perspective, a healthy footing again. And so she is very good at being a practitioner of astrology. And I think that is something that we all need. So, we all have different gifts and we all have different um, characteristics. We have different things to add to each other. I didn't know you could have your moon and your sun both in Libra. I mean, it's not like I'm disputing you. Like I told you earlier, I'm not an astrologer and I do not, um, I can't exactly give advice, but Carmen would be the one. So we're going to talk about a new book that Carmen has written that's coming up August the 25th. And I've put links in the description below so that you can go to her website and find out. Hi, Carmen. How you doing?
Hi.
You made it.
I made it. Thank you. I had to got kind of craziness going on in my life. So thank you for being patient. I'm glad to be
Oh,
here.
oh, that's okay. What I did in the meantime is I read the back cover and talked
Thank
about
you.
this book,
Thank you.
so that the listeners and viewers could get a more information on the sun signs and know that this book is available on Amazon. And then I read the back cover and talked about the next book, The Moon Signs.
Thank you.
And so that's what we've done so far. And I just started talking about your new book, which I actually don't know a whole lot about, but it sounds extremely interesting. Just from the discussion within the live chat, basically, not everybody is really familiar with astrology. So one person, Denise, she said, I know that my moon and my sun is in Libra, and I'm not 100% sure what that means, but you would know.
Yeah.
And but
So
anyway, I don't know
yeah,
if you want to answer that and then get
yeah.
into a bit about your book. I'm very excited to hear about it.
So she said she had moon and sun in Libra. Um, I don't know what how. If you know what house it's in, that helps. If you want to put that in there, but the sun in Libra means that your main identity is a Libra, which is artistic, creative, very into justice, fairness. You're excellent at compromise and being a mediator between people that are arguing. A lot of times Libras avoid conflict because they want peace and harmony, and it's an air sign, so that makes you very intellectual as well, and with a love of learning and reading and studying, but also creative artistic gifts. You can have both when you're a Libra. And a lot of Libras go into many different careers. Could be singing, painting, art, law, teaching, all of those kind of things. And Libra rules the house of marriage and partnership in astrology, the seventh house. So a lot of times Libra sons, they don't always like to be alone. They like to be social. They like to be with their friends. They like to have companionship. And sometimes you like to be in love, so you do also want to have those relationships and find your soulmate, find a perfect partner. That's what a lot of Libras share with me. And it's kind of it's a double intense energy for you because your moon, which is your emotional nature, is also in Libra. So the main identity is, wanting to find your identity through partners, through being in love, through having a marriage and a partnership. But then emotionally, you find comfort and security and safety and happiness through having love in relationships and having that kind of commitment and having that in your life. And so you need people you can trust that are healthy and that bring peace and harmony into your life, because you need to have partners that are supportive of you, that are not too aggressive, because you like to take care of other people, and you like to be in love, so that's kind of how I saw she's saying yes, nice.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you for doing that,
Welcome.
Carmen.
Absolutely.
So, so yeah, it's been a while since we talked, and I'm wondering if you want to introduce your new book. Tell us how it's different from the books you've already. I also read out the names of the different books you've already published. You're a very prolific author, and told everyone they can find your books on Amazon. But do you want to talk about your upcoming book and how is that different? What is that going to offer us?
Sure. I was so excited because I just got the uncorrected version in the mail. They send you. So here it is. And it's a
Wonderful.
thick one, guys. It's the longest book I've ever written, and it was I have a lot in there. So it's called Your Astrological Energy. And I had the idea because I wanted to really talk about astrology as an energy, because a lot of people get confused with astrology, and they don't quite understand it. And the way I explain it is, it's the reason it's so accurate and validates everyone is because it's energy. And we know that energy's in everything. You know, the moon affects the tides of the ocean. The moon affects our emotional nature. So knowing where the moon sign is, you'll be able to, learn how to express yourself. It'll help you show love and emotion, help you understand your emotional nature. And astrology is all about energy. So I wanted to focus a book on each of the 12 zodiac signs, and for readers to read about each of them, not just your own sign, but the other signs too, so you can really embrace and learn to connect and harness those energies of Pisces or Aries or Taurus or Scorpio. Even though you may not be a sun sign Scorpio or a moon in Scorpio, you may not have planets in some of these signs, but it's okay, because I wanted to write this book so you can understand all of the 12 signs. So I talk about how you can harness their energy, what their keywords are. I talk about every planet in each of the zodiac signs. So all the 10 planets in Aries, what that means. I analyze that for you. All the planets in each house. So in the Aries rules the first house. So we talk about, Sun in Aries, Moon in Aries, Mercury Aries, Venus Aries, what kind of energy that gives to the personality. And then I also look at the planet through the house of the first house. So all the planets through the first house and how that affects you. And then I do the transits. When any planet transits the first house, which is the house of Aries, how does that affect you? And I do that for each chapter, for each of the 12 signs. And so like in here, I talk about, Aries motto, harnessing Aries energy, harness bravery. Each zodiac sign has gifts and strengths. And so I really highlight that in this book. And it's I talk about Aries rising, what kind of energy and personality that gives you, Taurus rising, Gemini rising. Every chapter has everything you want to know that you can look up in your birth chart. And you can see, okay, I have Saturn in the fourth house. What does that mean? You can go to the Cancer chapter and look up Saturn in the fourth house, read about yourself. So you're going to be using really the whole book when you do your chart. And I always tell people, you can go to, astro.com and get a free birth wheel. And all you need to know is your date of birth and year, your exact time of birth, AM or PM, and your city, state, and place of birth. And that will help you greatly. And you just really need that to know an accurate birth chart. If you don't have your time of birth, it's okay. There's things you can do. If you can narrow it down within 2 hours, like if your mother or baby book says between 12 and 1 or 12 and 2 p.m., if you can find that, it really helps, because the planets move. Some of them move quickly, like the moon. So the moon only stays in each sign about 2 to 3 days. And I see Denise. So I'll explain the wheel, Denise, where it makes a little more sense. Let's talk about that. So when you're born, the very moment, time, place of your birth, and location, if you imagine standing on Earth at that time, date, place of birth, and you look up at the sky at that moment, okay, all of the planets are in a certain star constellation, which we call the 12 zodiac signs. Astronomers call them constellations, right? And those planets are in each of those signs. So if you're born on April 1st, the sun is in Aries. Okay, let's do Denise. Denise, you're a Libra. So the sun is in Libra when you're born. So the sun will be in that area of the sky in the constellation of Libra for anyone born on your birthday, okay? But the place and time can be a little different for someone in Africa, someone in the United States at that moment, place, time of birth. Even twins can have a different chart, and I'll explain why here in a minute. So when you're looking up at the sky, the planets are in one of the zodiac signs, and then astrologers, we cut the sky into 12 different sections, and that is what that wheel is. And it's like we take a picture of the sky, because that's the energy of your soul. the energy that's going to impact your life. And I call the natal chart is the map of your soul. So you take a picture of the sky and we put it on a piece of paper, and it's a wheel. And we break it into 12 sections because there's 12 constellations. There's 12 areas of the sky. And those are the houses. So that's where it gets confusing. People are like, well, what are these houses? It's really the sections of the sky and the energies that we break up. And then ancient astrologers, they believe that each area of the sky, each sign rules one of the houses. So, Aries starts the zodiac in tropical astrology. It rules the first house. Taurus is the second sign. It rules the second house in the wheel. And if you look on your wheel, there should be numbers on there, Denise. It depends on what program you use. It'll say 1 through 12. Those are the 12 houses. Each house rules an area of life. So first house is your main identity, your appearance. Second house is money, finance. Third house in comfort and what you value and security. And then third house is communication. It's siblings. It's all of those kind of things. Fourth house is your home, your family, your roots, your ancestors, your childhood, your future home that you make. The fifth house is play, children, creativity, self-expression, love affairs, hobbies, things that bring you joy and pleasure is fifth house. Sixth house is health, diet, nutrition, routine, work, coworkers. Seventh house is marriage and partnership. And the sign that's on that seventh house, we call that the descendant. That's the seventh house cusp. That's the marriage house. The also business partners. It's not always just your love relationships. It also can be business partners. And how if you have planets there, it can show how that can manifest in that area. The eighth house is one of my favorite houses. It's the house of death, rebirth, transformation, all of these things. And so the eighth house is all about starting over again. The Phoenix energy, healing, letting go, forgiveness, really doing that. Ninth house is all about learning, higher education, travel, religion, philosophy, law, knowledge, meeting people from different ethnicities, different religions, being drawn to those kind of things. The 10th house is our midheaven. It's the house of career. It's our public image. It's where we go to get recognition for things. And it's where we want to accomplish things. So the 10th house can show what issues affect your work, and your career. The 11th house is groups, friendship, social supports, networking, humanitarian causes. It's your friends and acquaintances. It's also your hopes, wishes, and dreams. It's that innovation, that Aquarius energy rules the 11th house. So being innovative, futuristic, non-traditional kind of energy of the 11th house. And then the 12th house is also one of my other favorite houses. It's the house of cosmic consciousness. It's the house of spirituality, escapism, meditation, making, devoting your life to a spiritual path, escaping through the world and being a nun, priest, rabbi, or monk, serving others in some way, doing astrology, crystal healing, energy healing, all kinds of these topics are going to be interesting to 12th house people. So any planets there show a need for solitude and a need for meditation and peace and healing and helping others. And so those are the 12 houses that are on the wheel. And even twins can have a different chart. When we take a picture of the sky on that moment, time, place, and date of your birth, the time can shift and the moon can move into a new sign because it doesn't stay in each sign very long. And depending on the day and the time and place and year, even twins can look identical and have almost an identical chart, but the moon sign could change, or Mercury could be in a different sign. How you think could be different. So there are the reason the time is so important is because it really affects how that energy is expressed. So those are the 12 basic houses. I don't know. A lot of you, probably know what sun sign you are. but it's good to know all of your planets, what sign they're in, what house they're in, and transits. You can learn about all that in my book. So if you can look up every placement in your natal chart, and then in the transit chart, what that is that would take your chart, your birth chart, and we kind of take a picture of the sky right now, and we put it on top of your map of your soul, of your natal chart, and we look and see where all these planets are transiting. Okay, we look to see that, and it's important, because those energies are what is affecting you day to day, and sometimes it affects you for years. These things that are in certain houses can affect you for many years. And once you know, you can look up, okay, Uranus is going in my 8th house. What does that mean? I give tips, things to do. Saturn's going in my marriage house. What does this mean? How is this going to affect me? You can look all of that up and get tips in my book, Your Astrological Energy. So that's kind of a lowdown on the basics. So I'm willing to take questions, or, anything you guys want to talk about.
That's super, super interesting. Um, you know, um, I don't actually check my charts often enough. That's something that I want to get better at. I'm going to reread these 2 books of yours while I'm waiting for your new book to come out, and reacquaint myself and, get ready, basically, so that when I get your book, I can dive dive right into it. Now, I was telling the people, the listeners and the viewers before you came on, that you've worked with trauma survivors for over 25 years, and you use astrology in your social work and in your psychotherapy. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, wow. Yeah, as a social worker, I started out working with children and teens that were abused. And then as I got older, I got into working with domestic violence survivors and child abuse survivors. And then for the past 20 years, I've been doing sexual assault prevention and response work, which is, 24/7 crisis intervention and all of that. And I've done lots of trainings on different techniques to heal trauma and the mind body connection. I'm a big believer in that, and how we heal others, by being, when we go through something ourselves, we become like wounded healers, and then we're able to help other people. And so I always tell people, everything that's happened to us, a lot of it can be seen in the birth chart. But, we really have to, try to figure that out and connect with our gifts and strengths. So I always tell people, when there's planets in the 8th house or a lot of Scorpio energy in your chart, people can have some trauma. They can go through a lot of intense experiences. They may feel like their personality and their emotions are constantly being reborn and transformed, and all these things. And that's kind of what it is. And then you start healing yourself, and you start doing that. So I started noticing that the people I was working with, that they had a lot of similar patterns in their astrology chart. And I started noticing that a lot of them were interested in healing, like Reiki, pranic healing, energy healing, and things like that. And after they had been through something traumatic, or someone betrayed them, or they were a victim of a crime, or things like that. And so I use astrology to help motivate people to transform and to heal themselves. That's really what I do. And I think it's good, and I love it. It's been my passion. And I think astrology, to me, I always said this when I first was in social work school. I was doing charts for fun. I was practicing, with other students when I was in college, And I loved it. And people would cry. People would like, how did you know this? It's so true. Like, this is my life. And I'm like, it's your chart. It's the map of your soul. I'm just interpreting it for you. And I realized that 1 hour of doing someone's astrology chart, just 1 hour, the basics, will completely heal them. And it would be like 8 or 10 therapy sessions may not ever touch what 1 hour of an astrology reading can do for you. And I realized this is what I want to do, is astrology, because it is a powerful tool. But, you know, in the mainstream world of psychology and therapy and social work, this still isn't as widely accepted. It's getting there. I think more people are opening up about these healing modalities, the mind body connection. You know, with trauma, we haven't really got there with trauma therapy with astrology yet, which I would like to take it there, but we have got with trauma and yoga, breathing, mindfulness, grounding exercises. All those things are part of trauma healing now. You know, getting energy work, doing yoga. I took a trauma class last year for my licensure, and it was just different chair yoga positions, how that was helping trauma survivors connect to their body again, you know, connect to that. And it's really important. And to make sure that you know yourself and know that you're not a victim, that the birth chart is what our soul chose. And when I realized that, you know, because people always think, you know, I would never, you know, pick that experience to happen to me. No way. But when you're in spirit form, you don't think like you do when you're in a physical body on the earth. You think, okay, I want to learn this. I want to be more spiritual. I want to be strong, you know, whatever it is. And your soul came in and chose to be born at the moment, time, place of birth to have those energies, because astrology's energy, and that you can use to learn these lessons. So nothing's by chance. Everything's destiny and meant to make us stronger. And, you know, people tell me I would never pick my parents, or I would have never picked to be adopted, or I would have never picked to be cheated on or abused. And but these things, these patterns are seen in our birth charts. And then there's always strength that can be used. And that's what this book's about, is harnessing the positive energies of all of these 12 zodiac signs. Because if you look at your wheel, I know Denise said the wheel's confusing, but if you look at the wheel, every house has a zodiac sign on it, because there's 12 houses, there's 12 zodiac signs. So say you don't have any planets in Scorpio, but Scorpio's on your 7th house of marriage and partnership, and you don't have any planets in the 7th house, but you have all this stuff. You would be focusing on, in my book, you would look up, Scorpio energy. And when you read it, you would say, okay, this is the energy that I need to harness in my relationships, or this is the energy I need to be careful of doing, the negative side of Scorpio in my relationships. Sagittarius, if it's on your 4th house of home and family, you need to read about Sagittarius. You may want to live in a foreign country. You may be restless. You may want a big open home with trees and some land, to feel free. So you can literally look up every sign and look at what house it's on in your birth wheel to harness those energies in that specific area of life, even if you don't have planets in that area of life, which we call the houses. So she said he's a Scorpio. Yeah. Libras typically attract their opposite. That's the other thing that's interesting. In astrology, we usually attract our polar opposite, or we attract the element that we lack. So if you have a ton of fire and you don't have any water at all in your birth chart, and there's a way to look that up when you do a birth chart. You can look at your element scores. You may have a good balance of the elements, which are fire, air, earth, and water. But when you lack an element, that's the type of partner you usually end up getting with but it's not easy because it's challenging because you're different. It's not as compatible as it could be with someone else. You know what I mean? So Libra is very peaceful oriented, wants to take care of people. Um, they cater to other people. They want to please others, and they want to be social, and they want to feel in love. Libras, like, they're air sign. Air signs typically like to feel free. They don't want somebody possessing them. And so a Scorpio is possessive at times. So they want all of you. And they can be like very intense emotionally, which a Libra can feel. And you can feel, that intensity even if they hide it. They're good at hiding what they feel. And so it's not the word. I'd have to see your whole chart to know why you drew a Scorpio, because there's usually something in your chart that has to do with, why am I attracting these people? Like, I always laugh because I always have friends with women that are Sagittarius. I just click with them, and like they like me and they're nice to me. I'm like, oh, they like me, and we get along. And then so that's that fire. And then Libras, I draw a lot of Libra women. I have so many friends from work, and people text me and they're Libra. We keep in touch. So you'll and that's in my chart. You'll be able to see why you attract certain signs, why you might struggle with certain signs. And it really has to do with your elements in your chart and your placements. And you can find, like, I can look at your chart and I can tell you where your challenges are, what your learning is. And like, let's say you're talking about sickness. Okay, so the sixth house rules health and illness. So sometimes if you have planets in the 6th house, in the 12th house, which is its polar opposite, or a transit that is going through your 6th house, you could have some health issues. Certain placements can show this in a birth chart. I'd have to see your whole chart, but there's things that that we're going to experience, but then there's positive things with everything. There's negative and positive with all of astrology. And the cool thing about astrology is, once you know your energy and you know your chart, you know your vulnerabilities, all of those things. Like, I just had, I rarely get my chart looked at by anyone else. And I finally had an astrologer look at my chart to give me a different perspective. And it validated like a pattern that I have. And I know it, but at times I'm not able to get out of it. And even though I know my chart, so I'm going to implement these tips in my own life to overcome this energy that I typically do, which is I need to learn to relax. I'm always on the go. I got to stop that pattern. So, things like that. And so if you've never had an astrologer look at your chart, I highly recommend it. I would love for you to, read my books. The Sun Signs book and the Moon Signs book is a great place to start. And then this book is it'll be a beginner's guide, but it'll go more in depth once you have your birth wheel, how to really look up all those placements in your chart. But if I do consultations, I do mentorship, I teach classes. So, my website's carmenturnershot.com. You can always write me through there. I have some free gifts on my website, PDF pop-ups about the 12th house, 8th house on my website. If you visit and sign up for my newsletter, you'll be able to download a PDF, and you can, join my newsletter on there. And I'm available if you want a deeper look at your soul mission, which is in your chart. And that's a whole nother book I wrote, but that's a book about the nodes of the moon, because the north node in our chart, if you have a birth wheel on you, it looks like a horseshoe or headphones. That's like where you're going, and that's kind of where you're leading to, so, and it's what your soul came here to master. And you're kind of leaving behind the past life stuff, right? And moving into this new soul mission. And it takes most of our life to get into the North Node, but knowing what sign the North Node is in and what house it's in will show you what your soul came here to learn and what your mission is. So it's really important.
Wow. It sure is. Um, I had to laugh when you were saying that people say, well, wait a minute, I didn't sign up for these parents. I didn't sign up for this
Yeah.
experience or that one. And it makes me laugh because all the people who are, spiritually minded and realize that we did have some say in what we came here to do. It's really interesting because we all agree when I signed up for this, I didn't know it was going to be this hard,
Yeah.
but it is quite it can be quite challenging to be a human being, especially in today's day and age. But I think ultimately it's all about soul development, and we, from our human perspective, are not able to see the bigger picture. So I think that reading your books and getting into astrology helps us to glimpse into that bigger picture
Yes.
that we have been missing. So I think it's super, super, super important. Now, just so that I can see if I'm understanding you correctly, your new book coming out August 25th. Is it the 25th
Oh,
or just August 20?
it's
Uh,
August 5th. August
oh,
5th.
August
Yeah.
5th of
Yeah.
2025.
1st of August. Yeah. And you can pre-order it now. Pre-orders are such a strange thing with it's a publisher thing. They want a certain amount of pre-orders. And they're like and so you can pre-order the book now, and that's kind of what they like, the publishers. And it's kind of crazy because you don't get it now, but you get it on August 5th when it releases. Um, so it's just a publishing thing. There was like, well, you need pre-orders, So and I'm like, I appreciate it if you do want to pre-order, and it will be shipped directly to you on August, the first week of August.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And just so I'm understanding the layout of the book, what it's offering is, you talked about how the wheel or our birth chart shows what the sky looked like, where the positions of all the planets and the constellations were at that time. And then you talked about dividing it like a pie into 12 equal pieces. Now, what I'm understanding you to say is that each piece of that pie gives us clues on how we can make our life better, whether we have planets or whether we have anything in that house or not. By understanding what each of those 12 different houses offers us, we can actually incorporate those things into our lives and make our life better. Am I understanding that right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's, because people, in some of my books, like the sun sign and moon sign, it's more about, you look up your sign, Aries or Aquarius, and then you look up your moon sign in my moon book. But then you can read about the other moon signs, right? And the other sun signs. This one's different. It has a lot more to it because you read about your own sign, but then you also can look up your planet in Gemini, or if you have Mercury in Virgo, you can go to the Virgo chapter and look up what that means. So you'll be using the whole book in this one. It won't just be your main sign or learning about the others. You'll be interactive throughout the whole book, depending on what placements are in your birth chart to look up. And
Wonderful.
transits too. And you can keep using it because as the planets change houses and signs, you can look that up in the book. Like I'm just talking to someone, I think Uranus is getting ready to go into Gemini. It's in Taurus now. So you can look up Uranus in Gemini, and then look up, Uranus in the 9th house transit and what that means, and that'll help you see, harness the energy and look at, okay, this is the energy affecting me right now, and this is why I'm feeling this way. And it just validates what you're experiencing. That's why I love astrology. It's a map. It's a map of the soul. It's helped me.
And
Yeah.
And you also mentioned that you know, science in general is just starting to understand the linkages to the energies. So this is quite some time ago in our history, they sort of developed the duality. So they went, okay, science is everything, you have to physically see it, very materialist way of looking at things. And then they assigned all the energetic and spiritual stuff kind of to the church. Well, now we're getting to the point where this in the science they're going, well, wait a minute, we've cut off a whole part of reality, and now they're starting to get more in touch with energies. And so from what I'm understanding you say about your book is it's a way to go, you can actually look up tell me if I'm getting this wrong, but you can actually look up on any day you're feeling a particular way. You can look up where, you know, what that day signifies from an astrological perspective and how those energies are going to affect you. And you can go, okay, that makes sense. I'm feeling this way today, but that's going to clear in 2 days. I'm going to feel a lot better. And it helps us to sort of just cope with reality on an energetic perspective.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
something we might not be seeing. Is that right, Carmen?
that's absolutely right, because every planet transits a certain amount of days. So like if you have you know, I talk about that, like I in the book with the transits, you know, moon and air, moon in the first house, what that's going to do. It's only going to last a couple days, guys, you know. And then, and you know, and the sun here, you know, sun lasts 30 days in the sign, you know. Everything moves, you know, a certain way. We also, which isn't, is it's more in depth, it's not in this book, but there, you have to get your transit chart done to really there's certain aspects. So in this book I don't get into every single aspect because it would be too big a book, it'd be crazy. But every day planets are aspecting each other in the sky right now, and like we said, we take a picture of the sky now, put it on your chart now, you're going to have something. So example, my daughter was feeling really having a hard time, and she called me, and I told her, you know, I looked and she had Saturn conjunct her sun that day, or her moon or something. I'm like, it'll pass this, you know. And I was able to analyze it, and then and she said she felt better, and I told her just hang in there, and then she could feel when it shifted. You can feel like when the moon is in a certain sign every 2 to 3 days. I know when the moon is in Scorpio, I usually feel really quiet and deep, and I dream vividly. Or when the moon is in Pisces, I'm a little more emotional, and I'm dreaming vividly. When the moon is in Aries, I got all this energy and I want to get stuff done. You know, you'll start noticing those transits and how they're affecting you, because it's
Mhm.
based on your birth chart, where all those planets are moving every day, and where they're aspecting your birth chart placements. And some of those, that's why everyone is going through unique experiences every single day. You know,
Mhm.
every not two people will ever live through certain things. And some people will never live through certain experiences that some others do. And that is the transits. And an example is Pluto transiting your fourth house of home and family. There, depending on your rising sign, your birth chart, you may never experience that transit. And you're not meant to, but you're going to experience a different transit. I experienced Pluto through the fourth. Everyone that has Virgo rising in their chart has experienced Pluto in the fourth house. See, it has to do with the rising, the sky, the moment, what was going on. So, and then Uranus, you know, Uranus went through my seventh house of marriage and partnership. It went through my eighth house. Now it's in my ninth. And some people never experience that. And,
Mhm.
and, and that's okay, you know, because it has to do with our destiny, our learning we chose to go through, you know,
Mhm. Mhm.
and all of that.
Right. Before I forget, Denise wanted to know if when your book comes out, will it be available on Kindle or will it only be available on paperback?
Yeah, it's pre-order available on Kindle and paperback right now. Yeah, you can get a Kindle version, and on August 5th, it'll be delivered that day. That's how they do it.
Wonderful.
And my other books, all my other books are on Kindle. I think all my books are on Kindle. Now I'm thinking about it. Not all of them are paperback. I think a few aren't paperback. But everyone's Kindle that I have. I have 11
Wonderful.
books. I have 11 different books, and they're all on Amazon or Barnes and Noble.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so we've heard a little bit about your new book coming up. Is there anything, we're getting close to the end of the show. I'm wondering if there's anything else we didn't talk about that you want to share about what your new book has to offer, what it will do for people. And it sounds amazing. I can't wait to see it. It really good for you. It must have been a lot of work putting that together too, eh?
This one was, I always joke, it's like having a baby. It's just, when you have a baby, it's a huge deal. It's a lot of work. And then you're like, I'm never doing that again. And then you forget. And then, but when you have the baby, and then it's worth it. And then when you hold the book, it's worth it. But I remember telling my husband, I don't think I'm going to write a book for a while after writing this one, because it was a lot of editing, and it was just bigger because I was wanting to do more with it. It became a lot more writing and just a lot more work. You're right. But man, when I got it in the mail the other day, I'm like, it was worth every bit of it. All of the sleepless nights and late nights and weekends, it was worth it. So yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And the one thing I'm doing is I got two classes coming up virtually that are Zoom for the College of Psychic Studies in the UK. I have two classes. If you're interested, one of them starts this Sunday. It's a 3 Sundays in a row course, and it's from 1 to 3 p.m. Central, 6 to 8 p.m. UK time. And it's completely online. And it is, let me read you the title. It's using astrology, activate your psychic abilities with astrology, on May 11, 18, and 25. And if you're interested, let me know, visit my website and write me, and I can get you the link if you want to learn. And I have a group of 10 people signed up so far. It's going to be great. And we meet 2 hours for 3 Sundays in a row, and I dig in. I'm going to look at your charts. I'm going to really tell you where your intuition is, how to tap into your psychic gifts, your abilities in this course. It's going to be a lot of fun if you're able to join. I know it's kind of last minute, but as long as you register before Sunday, you can come, and it's on Zoom from the comfort of your home. And then in July, I have a course called Astrology, Soul Mission, and Past Lives. And that is going to be July 15, 22, and 29th. And I'm going to make sure it's the right one. Hold on. Should be July, actually. Yeah, it's 3 Sundays in July. And yeah, here it is. It's actually July 5th, 12th, and 19th. Sorry. July 5th, 12th, and 19th, 1 to 3 p.m. Central, or 6 to 8 p.m. UK. And it's Astrology, Soul Mission, and Past Lives. And that one is available to register now. You got a couple months for that one because it's in July. But love to have you come, because I'm going to look at your charts. I'm going to get your information. You're going to get in-depth, hands-on with me, which is the best way to teach, by pulling charts up and then sharing with you, this is where you can tap into your intuition, or, you have a hidden gift here, or this is an area you can heal here. And so it'll be an intimate, a small group class if you're interested. Have 2 coming up. Would love to have you.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, so we're almost out of time. Carmen, why don't you again tell people, because some people come in late, what you offer, about the name and when your book's available, and about the pre-order, and also your website and where people can find you.
Yes. So you can get my book right now on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, pre-order, releases August 5th. You can find me at www.carmenturnershot.com. You can also follow me on Facebook, Deep Divers Astrology with Carmen Turner Shot. You can also find my YouTube, which is Carmen Turner Shot, is my YouTube. And if you go to my website, it's the best way to get a hold of me. I'm on Instagram as well. And, love for you to reach out. You can email me anytime.
Wonderful, wonderful. So thank you again, Carmen. Enjoyed this discussion so much. Loved hearing about your new book. And I can't wait till it comes out. And yeah, everybody pre-order Carmen's book and take a look at her website. It's where everything is linked from there. And I know you're going to all benefit from it very, very much. And yeah, Carmen, thank you so much, so much. And hopefully we could even have you back sometime after the book is out, and we'll just pick up where we left off. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you to all the listeners and the viewers and those that came for the live chat today. I really enjoyed having you, and we'll see you next week on the Quantum Guide Show. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for joining me for the Quantum Guide Show. Become the change that you wish to see in the world. Subscribe to my YouTube and other channels at Karen Holton TV. Click the like button, leave me a comment, and share this podcast with your friends. Read about my true life ET contact in my book called Transdimensional: Meet the New Neighbors, which is now available in Amazon bookstores worldwide. Check out my website at www.KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com to see my free resources and amazing products and services. All the links will be in the description below. As part of the Forbidden Knowledge Network, you will find the Quantum Guide Show with Karen Holton and also the Aliens and Angels podcast on all audio platforms. Until next time, keep up the good work.